spent them here. For whatever be our watchword, conquer and prevail. Hail to thee, our alma mater, such plains family all hail. When across the world we wander, this will be our song. Honor, love, and true devotion, all to here belong. For whatever be our watchword, conquer and prevail. Hail to thee, our alma mater, such plains that would all hail.
Good evening. Welcome to the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Board President announcement. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with those provisions of this act, the Scotch Plains Family Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having Addendum, superintendent items, business functions, and other board business to be heard. If time remains, other matters may be covered. Please note the board uses public comment period as an opportunity to listen to citizen concerns, but not to debate issues or enter into question and answer sessions. This is not a cross-examination between the public and individual members. Be aware that not all issues brought to the board will be resolved this evening. Boards may respond to the public comment by seeking additional information or delegating authority to investigate the issue to the superintendent or her designee. As Mrs. Winkler, thank you, Mrs. Burrell. Thank you. Any question or comment? Seeing none, Mr. Jones, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Barbie?
Yes.
Ms. Bauer?
Yes.
Mrs. Burrell?
Yes.
Ms. Suriani?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Winkler?
Yes.
Dr. Polkowski?
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Mass, and thank you, Mr. Jones. Next, we'll move on to the board motion of business. Mr. Jones?
Yes, so the first thing is preschool grant approval. So what's happening here is we get almost $50,000 a year for our preschool program. And since they moved to the full-time preschool grant program with the state, they're eliminating that as $25,000 just to look into it. So, but we have to approve.
Dr. McGarry, we're looking into it.
Robert,
Yes.
Any comments on how the process is going to work?
So we submitted a plan to the DOE on the utilization of the funds, which would include hiring a consultant to work with us and to work with providers in town to develop a plan for transitioning, if possible. And that's a big if possible. So we have to develop this plan by the end of January and submit it to the DOE. So we've got a very short period of time to study what's possible and put forth a plan. It's not an immediate, it's not like flipping a switch and universal pre-K comes. They're looking for a 5-year sort of rollout of that.
One thing to note about this, we found out, is they do not cover his program, where we get $50,000 is very minimal in terms of the total cost. Programs that I did in a previous district, they started with, when they started transitioning to full-day kindergarten, the low-hanging fruit was the programs were already getting funding. So a previous district I worked for who had a lot of space, they were able to go for one of the first districts into the full-day funding. And so this is now they're going to the other schools who have that little bit. So whoever is getting that amount of funding, that's who they're reaching out to. So,
And the preschool program would be fully funded, with the exception of transportation, by the state. It would be on our dime.
Except for space, too.
yeah, correct, yes, we have to cover space.
And for what duration? And
That-
what-
We asked that question as well,
Yeah.
and they sort of hedged on what the response was in terms of, for as long as,
It's fully funded until it isn't.
correct.
Yes, yes. This is due to the county on Friday. Any questions? It's long, questions are long, just so you're aware, we're working on a communication for the proposal, for the bond question. And Laura Bishop's team has been working with us to explain the questions. You see they're sort of fairly long, and they talk about state aid. Once this gets approved, this part of our communication campaign will be to explain the question and what it means.
So we have a motion for Mr. Jones's two motions from the board business.
So moved.
Second. Thank you, Ms. Soriani, and I didn't see the one, Ms. Laura, thank you. Any further question or discussion?
I think, I think we should do a roll. He didn't tell me. to
Yeah, I was
do a
gonna
roll
say,
call.
let's just do
Well,
one.
let's just do it just
That's
in
what I
case,
thought.
yeah.
So, Mr. Jones, will you please call the roll for this?
Yes. Ms. Barbe,
Yes.
Ms. Bauer,
Yes.
Scheduled meetings. Tuesday, August 27th, we'll have a regular public meeting at 8 PM. Public session will begin. Location is to be determined at this time. An executive session for us will start at 7:30. Next, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I have Ms. Roroff and Mrs. Winkler. Any question or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.